Alright, so we got the bottom thing, this mounting bolt under here, put on just a minute ago. That one, and that by far was probably the hardest one I've done. One tip I'll give you that worked for me, I normally don't do this, I normally like to tighten things and start threads, especially start threads. I like to start threads by hand without using a wrench or a socket or anything else. It's just a good practice to get into so you don't strip things out and get things cross-threaded. But in this case, I spent a good 3 or 4 minutes trying to get that started. Part of the problem was TaylorMade didn't clean up the threads after they painted that, whatever they're putting on that can. When they painted it or coated it, they didn't clean up the threads afterwards. And so it made getting it started rather difficult by hand. What I ended up having to do to get this to work is use that to actually turn the bolt and get it started. But it was extremely difficult and very much a pain in the butt. So I would use one of those. Once I did that, then it went in about 10 seconds. I got it started. I just had to put a little bit more pressure on it. That's where we're at right now. I'm not really happy with the exhaust. It's not touching anywhere, but it's awful close in the back, and and I'm seriously debating taking this off and grinding that a little bit because they just didn't give me enough, in my opinion. And it looks like I got a little bit further to go, but I can't get it to go anymore. They didn't give me quite enough. This is too long. This sleeve itself is a little too long, just slightly. Probably about 1/8 of an inch too long. 1/8 of an inch would make a big difference back here. So I may leave it like it is because it isn't touching anything, and the instructions clearly say, and the common sense dictates it can't touch it. But if I break the carbon fiber, it'll probably break it. And it isn't touching, but it is awful close. So I'm debating on whether to take the whole thing back off, grind off that at just about 1/8 of an inch. But if I do, I'll pick it back up and tell you what I did. Alright, we're done. The only thing left I got to do is put the little plastic snap tabs back in the front of the fairing, but just take a minute. But there we go. That is the best I've been able to get it. Believe it or not, it's not touching. There's a good air gap around the whole thing. It's kind of hard to tell from this angle, but looking from the back with the light coming in from the front, it looks good. This is after grinding about 1/8 of an inch off of the front tabs of the can, and it did make it fit a lot better because it was touching before. But I'm not real happy with the way this looks. I think that either they mounted the bottom bracket on the bottom of the muffler wrong, down there, where this carbon fiber trim piece goes in. Either they welded that a little off, or there's just something a little off because it's definitely not centered. It needs to go about 1/2 inch forward. There's just no way to do it. I mean, I've rotated that thing every which way, and that's as good as it's going to get. But everything's tightened back down. Nothing's touching. I'm going to email some pictures to TaylorMade and see what they think of it. Like I said, I'm way above average mechanical skill, and it's just not a good fit at all. I mean, everything fit together, everything bolted together fine. It's just the way that looks. It's just, to me, it's not optimal at all. It's not even close. So, but it's going to work for now, and we'll see what TaylorMade has to say about it. Like I said, the main points that I had trouble with was the threads in this bracket right here. The one at the bottom, the left and right side trim panels bolt to. That they should have cleaned those threads out because getting the bolt started was a major pain in the butt. And I had to use an Allen socket to do it, which you shouldn't have to do. But I love the way the carbon fiber looks. I love the way the exhaust looks. It would just look a lot better if it was a 1/2 inch forward. And I guess worst case scenario, if I wanted to, I could take this off, take it to a good muffler shop, have them cut that this outlet pipe right here, grind a 1/2 inch off, and weld it back together. and if TaylorMade doesn't want to take care of the issue, then that's probably what I'll do, because I'm a pretty stickler for attention to detail, and to me that doesn't look good. Well, it looks great as far as comparing it to stock, but it doesn't look near as good as it should and could. But there you have it. There's a good view of the whole bike. Let me get the light where it's not shining on one little spot. But that to me is a whole lot better than stock. So we'll take it outside and start it up, and we'll get back to you when we get there. Alright, so here it is. This is actually the next day. I went and rode it yesterday. Like I said, I wish it was more centered, and it's going to get more centered one way or the other. Either I'll have to fix it myself, or hopefully TaylorMade will give me some options on how to take care of the problem. Because if it was centered, it would be absolutely beautiful and a work of art. Right now, it's great looking, but it could be better. So we'll have to wait for them to respond. And from what I've heard and read, and my experience so far, because I ordered direct from them, that they have really good customer service, and they're real attentive to me when I was placing the order, and answered all my questions. So hopefully things will work out. I'm sure they will. And I think the carbon fiber pieces and everything about the production of this product is just awesome. I've worked with Yoshi. I've worked with Kirker on some dirt bike stuff, and this by far is the best instructions for the most part, and the best quality, with the exception of just one thing, and that's the position of that pipe and that trim piece. Other than that, everything else is beautiful. I mean, the way it fits to the front fairing is just about perfect. The way it butts up against the swing arm is great. Hopefully that doesn't break when the spring arm unloads, because you can see that it does touch the swing arm right now. I don't know if that's a concern yet or not. We'll have to see, and I'll let them know about that too. But we'll start it up and let you hear it run. There's a lot of videos of them, this bike running that exhaust on YouTube already, but one more probably won't hurt, especially since we've come so far already. One point I'd like to make, I've seen a lot of guys do it though. This bike is cold right now, so I'm going to start it up and let it idle, but I'm not going to rev it up, simply because it's not good to do that to a bike that you just started. So we'll start it up. So this is the sound that you get from a seated position right here. In case you're wondering, that's a GoPro. I've got it just stuck to the tree at the top in a really good spot. I did recently get a tinted windscreen, and although the GoPro does see through that, it doesn't see near as nice as when I had a clear windscreen, so I may go back to a clear. The tinted looks better in my opinion, but I video every ride for a lot of reasons. One of the main ones being when I get hit by a car, not if, but when, I have some proof as to who's involved. That, in case you're wondering, is a custom built by my wife iPhone mount. So I slide my iPhone in there, and I close a little zip, a little Velcro closure there, slide it in. And I got a nice big hole for a auxiliary cable, plugs right into my helmet. I got speakers in my helmet. But I've engineered it to work with a GoPro mount right there. And so it comes off and on real easy. These, in case you're wondering, go to the other side. In case you're wondering, that is tech spec, and it is really, really nice. I love it. It's good just to keep you from, over time scuffing up the paint with your legs. But what really, really works for me is being able to take some pressure off my hands by using my core muscles, because I get a good solid grip on the side of the bike with my legs, and so I can relieve some pressure off my hands on longer rides and use my core muscles for a little while. It sounds amazing, and it looks really good. So there you have it, all done, and worked out really well.